sorry, I forgot to record again. I always do that. Yeah. So,
Am I
uh,
going too deep into it?
no. I think you need to go deeper. I think you're on the right
Yeah,
track. I think
yeah.
you're on the right track.
Some spaces appear smaller in certain colors, and some colors make things appear larger as well. And also, there's like black chalk paint too. So you can, expand a little bit, into commercial or even industrial. They got like dry fall paints and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you could really market the whole thing about living spaces looking bigger or smaller, having paints that are more geared for young children to be washed off, or for advertising for black chalk paint, or there's all different kinds of things. I mean, you could probably go on for days, but yeah, there is a
Okay.
lot of different
All right. So
things.
now that you have some ideas, how to create content to create engagement to get more signed contracts to do more work, what would that look like?
Like maybe before and after videos of like a darker place, and then a video like just maybe really pushing it towards like how closed and dark it feels, like, emotionally. And then, the brightness reaction of the homeowner, just really creating like huge contrast. And you can actually touch on both the points that were talked about in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But that's very salesy, right?
Hmm.
Because if they know you're in the painting industry, now you're showing before and after pictures, they know they're being sold to. Okay. But if we were to approach that from a different direction and start a video talking about, how the homeless people are having a hard time, how it's hard to make a living these days, how expensive fruit and vegetables are in the grocery store, how much pressure you have at work to, to get a raise, and you're concerned about losing your job, and you have a mortgage to pay, and you start building that stress, or that from that direction. Then you start talking about, when you come home, you want to come home to a very relaxing, peaceful environment, because you're dealing with a lot of stress, price of gas, price of cars, traffic, and you're dealing with all that. Now you want to come home, and you want to come home to a very serene environment, right? Then you start showing, different colors, or studies that show, even studies for prison colors, have certain colors create less gang violence, right? So using studies like that, and using that to say, hey, maybe we can paint your office a different color if you want to relax, or you want to have the adrenaline to, to do some work. So maybe your
Like
office
all
should
white.
be red, and the rest of your house should be white or yellow, or light green or light blue, right? So creating content like that, um, in series, I believe could, increase your painting revenue substantially, revenue and profit substantially. Okay.
And I think also learning about the suppliers and the products that you're also selling. Some companies that you might work with might have a good track record, or they might have, some role in the community. So marketing facts, outside of the context of just, studies and stuff like that, but also all the way down to the products that you're giving. Some might have less harmful products and so on and so forth. So you could really expand on that
Yeah,
a lot.
VOCs, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you talk about specific products, again, you're talking about your product.
About sales.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think our strategy is, I mean, there's no hard science on this, but we try and keep the salesy type content to 10%, right?
Hmm.
Because 10%, of course, they need to know what you are about, but I think you need to create the need using the side door instead of the
Desire.
front
Yeah.
door. Okay. Because the front door is
Absolutely.
kind of an attack, right? Do this, this, and this, use us, we're the greatest, right? That's the type of atmosphere you're bringing to the table. But if you're using a side door and you're talking about reducing their stress and stress kills and and
Yep.
creating a friendly, warm environment. And I actually created a video on this today in preparation for this this class, and I talked about that's again, studies have shown that when you're stressed and you take a walk in nature, it relieves your stress, and stress does kill, right? So, and a lot of people are concerned about their health, so use trends, use what they're already concerned about to help you help them, right? So what if we could bring nature into your home? And one example that I used is there's wallpaper that you put together looks like a forest, right? So let's say you have a basement wall, an ugly basement wall, plain basement wall, you apply that to a 20-foot section, then you create, you hire a carpenter to create an arched window and put mullions in front of the wallpaper to look like it's a window that you're looking out, right? That could be a way to differentiate yourself with other painting companies, that you're really trying to help their serenity, their environment, their, to calm them down and go beyond just a painting company. And when people look at that, probably 2% will say, yeah, I want that in my house. But the fact that you started a conversation with something unique like that, even though they don't buy it, they still want a paint quote from you, right? And you may only sell 2% or 10%, right? But that's not the point. The point is to start a conversation where they see you as a trusted advisor because you're trying to help them relieve their stress and you're a painting company. Okay. So these techniques work in every industry that you deal with, right? And I'm a firm believer. One of the reasons why I have 150,000, hopefully 150,000, before we finish this call, I'm going to be shocked if, we don't have 150,000 by the end of this call. Let's check it now. 149 still. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 149. Okay, we'll check back. We'll check back.
So
And
close.
so close. And I know it's going to happen tonight. I know it's going to happen. But it's one of those milestones that, you get excited about. And I get excited about little things like that. So creating the need is going to be a huge part of how you design your business blueprint. And again, it doesn't matter what it is, whether you clean grout, or whatever it is, we gotta find a way to create the need. Okay, so let's switch gears. Brian, what is it that you do?
I clean tile and grout and natural stone.
Right. So let's use that. Let's pretend we are in that business. We are Brian's partner. We are brainstorming here. How can we create the need for a tile grout? But you also do stone sealing, like you seal.
Yes.
You seal
natural stone like kitchen granite
right.
and
So
travertine
how can we
floors and so
create
forth.
the
Yes.
need for something like that?
Headstones.
Sorry,
Headstones.
headstones.
Yeah, I would expand into headstones, grave.
Um,
Graveyard.
Okay, but do headstones need protection?
Some people do. Yes.
Well, they
Yeah.
do.
Some
It's
people,
a very
some,
big thing, actually.
Okay.
yes, it actually is out there. That I know guys that will do it on the side and stuff like that. Someone will reach out to them and say, "Hey, I have our family plot. It's looking, we want mom's great headstone to look better." So it's something that you can do. I've started
okay.
here recently, just giving people informative videos on how to do it themselves,
Okay.
just to kind of show, hey, this, put your cleaner. I just did one yesterday. I just haven't put it all together. that, hey, you know, you put your cleaner on, let it set for, let the product do the work for you, so you don't have to, and then scrub it and so forth. But you know, when someone sees this is what it takes for someone like me to do it, I'm at least giving them the information. I'm not telling them what products to use,
Okay.
but I'm just showing them the technique. And then whenever they see, well, okay, I got 500 square feet of this, I don't want to do it like that. I'd rather hire someone else.
Okay.
This guy is I'm at least telling them what they need to do, you know, and how to do it. So it's
But in
kind
the
of giving that,
process, you're showing how difficult it is, and they're going to realize
yes,
that and say, my time's too valuable. You know, how
exactly.
much would it
Yes.
cost for me to get you in here to do it? So I think it's
Yes.
a good strategy.
Yes.
I would look at it as more of like a health thing. So we were kind of talking about the studies earlier, like, you know, preventing um mildew and like mold buildup, and just kind of talk about the just really, and like kind of the same approach, like coming as an advisor perspective and just saying
Mhm.
what, just going off about what mold can do to your body and just really stressing that. And then I don't know how you'd implement the cleaning later, but just really taking it from like a health and
I
also
don't think you
cleanliness
even
aspect
I
personally.
don't
That's what
think
I would do.
you even got to include the cleaning. I think if you just
Yeah.
start talking about the effects of mold on your
Yeah.
health, so that someone's saying, "Wow, this guy knows what he's talking about," and then don't even bring up the tile and grout part of it. You
Yeah.
just say, "Hope this information helps you," and then move on.
Okay. What about salmonella? Right? Someone's cutting chicken, juices
Yes.
fall off the cutting board onto the stone.
Yep.
If the stone's not sealed, now you've got salmonella on your countertop,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, that's kind of a scare tactic, but scare tactics work as well. So, creating videos or using studies how salmonella on countertops, I don't
Yep.
know, make people sick or something.
Especially
So-
like cities and municipalities too that have like stonework or statues or even old headstones that are like historical value that you can kind of restore and clean up. There's big money in that.
Okay. All right. Any other ideas that we can help Brian create the need for his product and service?
Gardens, like landscaping as well.
Well, that's diversifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we
Yeah.
start thinking about diversifying, let's stick with grout cleaning or grout replacing or sealing countertops as an example.
And living here in Oregon, everyone's outdoors people. So
Outdoor
I'm gonna start.
kitchens.
Yes. Well, and I mean, we've had 10 days straight of rain, and today, not a cloud in the sky. And I was like, thank you. It's so beautiful out here today. So I mean, it's like so nice. So I mean, I really want to capture this saying, hey, you know, it's our first nice day of the summer. Get out there and enjoy it. Go enjoy your outdoor kitchen, get those barbecues ready and stuff like that. And just, like I said, Leo, you're saying always build a trust with people, maybe not even on the industry, not even selling, just trying to give them information so they
Yep.
don't even know what you're talking about, know what
Yeah.
you're doing, but you can at least give them information on other things that are maybe related on what you do, but they don't know that you actually work in that industry.
Right. So yes, and if you listen to a lot of the breakfast television type shows, they always
Yes.
do a fall cleanup or a spring cleanup, getting ready
Yes.
for the
Yep.
outdoor season
Yep.
and doing all that. Maybe you could do a video talking about how to prepare the outdoor kitchen for spring. You know,
Yep.
should you
Yes.
seal every year? You know, how do you check the countertop to know if you need sealing? How do you
Yep.
clean the barbecue? How do you do all that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So I think producing that type of content or getting ready for the party season, right? Everybody
Mhm.
likes parties and creating videos, you know, getting ready for the party seasons or how to pressure wash your deck or your pool area or whatever
Exactly.
you want to
Yes.
do.
Yep.
So um what other company do you want to use as an example for brainstorming, for creating the need? Can someone suggest a business?
Raw dog food.
Raw dog food? Okay, creating the need for raw dog food. Okay, go. Who has an
Um,
idea?
processed food is bad and cancerous for humans and dogs, let alone,
Right.
but you could create the need there. Almost
Right.
kind of like a scare tactic as well.
Yeah, and scare tactics work. And we've used Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan talks about his dog. He loves his dog, and he talks about, how processed food causes cancer in humans and in dogs. So I would find 50 pieces of content and repurpose that content. And somehow, even subliminally, add your brand at the end of the video, like for half a second or 2 seconds.
Right.
They
Yeah,
will
I'm
get the
thinking, yeah, like toy reviews, like, exercises, like literally anything to do with dogs, because that people just eat that up, on
yeah,
TikTok, and or like having a dedicated Instagram page to just a dog or something, or just one dog. People fall in love with the dog,
yeah.
and then
Or the dog skateboarding, or the
yeah,
dog
yeah,
using a one wheel. Those dogs are amazing, right? I watch that shit. Because I love dogs, and dogs are smarter than we give them credit for. Because if they
Oh yeah.
can learn to use a one wheel, a powered one wheel, and they know how to stop and turn and I've watched this bulldog on a one wheel, even though he's watching the squirrel that's only 10 or 15 feet away, he stays on his board. And he can steer even though his head turned on a 90-degree angle. So, you know, products or videos or visuals or emotional videos like that will help your brand quite a bit, especially if you're posting 6 to 10 of those videos a day on all platforms. You're going to elevate your brand, right? And you don't have to say anything, right?
Right.
It's subliminally, you're getting the message across subliminally. Then 1 in 10, you're talking about how you're causing cancer on the the dog you love the most, right? It eats away at you, right? It eats away at you, and eventually you're going to want to pay extra for the better brands, right?
Better dental hygiene too.
Yeah, exactly. And I've posted content like this about raw dog food in the top 10 most profitable businesses. And you always get a vet coming in and saying, I'm a vet, I don't recommend raw dog food. And I say, okay, show me a picture of your showroom. Tell me what brands you're promoting, right? The reason why you're saying this is because we are affecting your sales because you're selling the junk. I mean, I don't
genius,
say
yeah.
that.
Right.
I don't say that, but I know that that's what they're doing. And I asked to see the studies. Of course, they never respond, right? So, but you want that controversy, right? You don't delete messages like that because when you ask them questions, you try to engage with them, you try and find their studies, right? And they don't respond. A vet just proved your point, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So what if you could take a video of someone like that, if it was on a live debate or something, and someone like a vet getting proved wrong about raw dog food, do you think that could also work as advertisement as well?
That is perfect. That's what I was going to say next.
Got
Find one of your followers that lives in that city, send them $100 and say, please go into his clinic, take a video of what the products he has for sale, then post that, right? Then you show, here's why he believes raw dog food, or he doesn't sell raw, or he doesn't believe in raw dog food and he's a vet. Here's why. And show the Purina and show all the different crap he's selling, right?
Right.
So, in controversy like that, and I would use even a PR, use that video and use PR to get, 10 million followers, 10 million views on that video. And, that will probably represent $1 million in sales. That's how you use the media. That's how you use social media to grow your company. You want controversy. Without controversy, you get no engagement, you get no views, you get no followers. Okay. This is why a lot of my videos are controversial. A lot of my videos, I get my ass kicked, and I'm okay with that. Okay. So great ideas. So now the homework that you have is start brainstorming about how you're going to create the need for the 10 different businesses, or pick the top 3 businesses that you want to start and start creating the needs, start coming up with ideas of the businesses that you want to start, and create some video content around that creating the need idea. Does everybody understand their homework assignment?
Yep.
Okay. Anyone super shy and is going to have a hard time producing video content?
No, I actually have a question about that though, because you said with the video content we can do whatever we want. Like, and so should we keep that on the same account? Like, say we want to talk about like sports or whatever, would we implement this into the same account or do a different one? Or like, how would you suggest with that?
Most people want to have different accounts for different
Okay.
strategies, right? And I think that's wrong, because if you look at Joe Rogan, and again, he's the god, okay? And I get a lot of flack. You know, a lot of people will say, "You lost me at Joe Rogan, I'm out." Well, okay, that's your opinion. But Joe Rogan talks about 50, 100 different things on one platform. Okay. So I talk about relationships, I talk about business, I talk about, a lot of different things. You can try the different strategies, but now you're working twice as hard, right? So on TikTok, I mean, if it was LinkedIn, you might want to create different platforms, but on TikTok, it's followers, right? Does someone have a question? Zara, do you have a question?
No, I had that question last week after we got off the call, and you brought it back up. I thought that was a great question.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's hard enough to produce enough content for one platform or one profile. I wouldn't start creating other profiles unless it was LinkedIn. And the only reason why you want to create more than one platform on LinkedIn is because you can only send out, 100 connection requests per week on LinkedIn. So if you have 10, now you can send out 1,000, right? So that's the only advantage on LinkedIn. But everywhere else, I'm lazy. I don't want to be doing 10 times the work, right? So keep working on creating the need, keep working on creating content. And the last one was someone suggested we talk about taxes. We have a tax strategy lawyer that comes into these groups and advises us. I think we're premature with this group. But tax strategy is always something that's always a big part of the business blueprint. I hate paying taxes, and I don't pay taxes. So I don't take salaries. So if you don't take a salary, the government can't take, there's 60% bite off your paycheck. So that's probably more of a one-to-one conversation. And these things are done legally, right? So
Tax
you find,
avoidance is legal.
I don't like to call it avoidance.
You're
That's
playing within
too-
you're playing within the game they lay out, so it's
Yeah.
you gotta take advantage of it.
Avoidance is in the gray area. I like to stay in the white area legally, okay? But if you look at Elon Musk, he takes no salaries, he pays no taxes or salary taxes. So, I just follow some brilliant people. And that's why we have tax strategy lawyers that come in to talk about some of this stuff. And everything, the reason why we focus so much on the business blueprint is I believe everything you do should be business related, which means it's a tax write-off, right? So if you play golf, make sure you talk about business, right? It's your buddies, but you want to talk business to them about bringing them in or using them as salespeople to grow your business. Talk about business so everything becomes a tax write-off, right? So I think we've said enough about that. Any quick questions? We have a few minutes.
Yeah,
Any
I got
other-
one.
Please.
Yeah, so when we're doing these blueprints, as for the specifics of the business, I think I'm doing the bookkeeping one. I think Brian might be doing that too eventually. So like
I am.
specifically, how would you learn about these industries in order to create the blueprint the best? And I don't know if there's like a general, if there's anything specific for that, or if there's like a general process how you'd go about learning about.
Do a Google search, use AI. AI is a great tool to give you generalities. Or if it's specifics in terms of financials, you can always send me an email and ask me, and I'll give you the best answers that I can. Or take the best guess, right? Take the best guess, send it to me. If I think your guess is too far out, I'll help you, assuming that I've worked in that industry. I mean, we've worked in quite a few different industries, and we keep data going back 85 years. So it's something that I can look at. I mean, based on the clients we looked at, that might be different from other clients that out there, but take your best guess, right? I spoke with 2 trucking companies that were supposed to be here today. And I'm surprised how many people don't do any research, right? And obviously they haven't watched my videos because I keep talking about, trucking being the worst industry. Right up there tied with restaurants, but people just jump in with both feet. And this trucking company, they're thinking about investing more. They're not making the profit they want. So their solution is to invest more money and to buy more trucks. And I'm thinking, what, sell the freaking thing, stage it, sell it, start a profitable business, right? I keep telling them you're taking a huge amount of capital to produce a tiny little profit instead of a little capital to produce a big profit, like in painting or bookkeeping or something. Okay. Any other questions? So post content. Okay. Post content. Someone has to be the face of your future company, and you're the best candidate for doing that. Okay. If you're going to hire an employee, that employee is going to quit, and changing the face, or you can use an avatar if you want to. I mean, there's a lot of videos. I've seen videos on TikTok that have 800,000 followers. They use mostly an avatar. But I'm not sure that that's a good strategy for the average person, and still 149.9. So I'm not happy right now. I was really hoping that it happened during this call because I want to motivate you guys. Okay. So you can use an avatar, but I mean, who's going to be more passionate about your business than you, right?
Exactly.
You can hire a PR company, you can, but no one's going to care more about your business than you do, right? No one can be more articulate about your business or your vision than you, right? So you might as well learn to communicate, and you need to communicate to get your ideas and motivate your teams. So you might as well start today and start communicating, learn to communicate, learn to excite people. Okay. Any questions about your homework? So you're going to produce content, at least 3 videos, tag me on the videos, and start working on the business blueprint, and start reading some from the continuous learning library, and at least list the 10 businesses that you're considering, at least 10. And it should be at least 1 franchise. Pick one. I don't care. Okay. Pick the best one you think you might consider. Any other questions? No? Thank you all. We'll see you again next week. If you have any questions, you have my email, you have my calendar. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Take care. Bye.